Welcome. This is the Drupal usability meeting for May 23rd, 2024. I'm Benjy Fisher, sharing my screen and moderating, and also present are Ralph Kohler and Simo Helston. Um, I'd like to return today to issue 3370326, refine field descriptions. I have spun up and shared a site. Let me give you a link in the Zoom chat. Um, And we have looked at this issue many times before. I think we are close to wrapping it up. And just for the sake of the recording, if I navigate to structure content types and manage the fields for any content type, and oops, create a new field. Um, let's say look at number. It is these descriptions that we have been working on, and the site I'm looking at now has the pull request, I'm sorry, has the merge request applied. So these are uh, the text that we've discussed at previous meetings. So for example, the difference between an integer and a decimal. An integer shows whole numbers. Values are positive, negative, or zero. Maximum values depend on the system, and we give examples. That's a pattern we followed on a lot of these descriptions. 123 negative 123 0 or 3 is the best you can do for pi. With a decimal, you can use 3.1415926542653. So there were a couple of open issues the last time we looked at that, and one of them I've just resolved in the last 12 hours, 8 hours. Anyway, for the selection list in particular, we decided that in addition to having the bulleted list of descriptions that distinguish one option from another, we also wanted to have a summary section that applies to all of the options. And so I added that. You can specify this, of course, for each group of field types. So I believe this is the text we agreed upon. Each list has a name with limited formatting and a value. Values that are in use cannot be changed since they are stored in the database. The names can be edited later. And then in the description of text and integer, we refer to value and name and give examples. Um, all right, I've done a lot of talking. Anything you want to add? Anything you want to ask about? Okay, so let's go over to the issue. And I guess maybe I'll have a quick look. We have discussed it at many, many usability meetings, most recently on March 14th, so I guess more than 2 months ago. Um, and somewhere in here is a link to the spreadsheet
I have it
that,
here as well. I pasted in the chat.
thank you. Um, I think this is the wrong
Yeah, that
spreadsheet,
this.
so I will take the one that you posted.
Yeah.
Yes, that looks like what we want. And I guess we've Mostly been focusing on the second tab, the field type options. And for example, if I scroll down and find a selection list, this is the one place where we had an overview, and that is exactly the text that I copied and pasted um, and demonstrated. And then I think I want to look at comment 27,
Yep.
which is where Ralph listed a few of the remaining things. Um, and the first item is what I've been demonstrating. Until today, there was no way to add that help text. Now there is. Um, use modals in field creation and field edit flow. At that point was probably not yet fixed, but now it is. And are we okay there, or is there still a problem here? I think that you were talking about the markup for the title of the modal, which
Um,
looks pretty good to me. You can see that the title has the semantic H1.
I think what I was referring to in point two is more like the microcopy of the title. For wizards to go with something like, for example, step one, um, add a field or choose a field, step two of three, something like that, to provide some more context in the title, what the step is about.
I would really love to call that a separate issue. Um,
Oh, as a
what?
follow-up, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Um, and a few more details about the current state. I actually didn't review these recently. Um, the order of the options is alphabetical, but that's not very logical. So for plain text fields, let's choose plain text. Long text and short text is alphabetical, but it's not logical. Um, and this is a question of trade-offs, I think. There are some cases where there are quite a few options at this point. Um, and contrib modules can always add additional options. So there's no guarantee on how long the list is. And when you do have a longer list, it's really helpful to have it alphabetized so you can find what you're looking for. On the other hand, when the list is short, it's nice to be able to customize it and put the simple option first and the more complicated option second. So in that case, this would argue for short text first and long text second.
Yep.
Um, I don't remember offhand how these are ordered in the text. Are they actually sorted by that label? I think
Suppose.
I think in fact they are. And again, just to control scope, um, I wonder if you'd be willing to consider this as a follow-up as well.
Yeah, that would be fine.
So really the scope of this issue is the text itself and not the order of things. And I guess we'd have to have some sort of a weight on things that could be set. Um, with a long text option for formatted text, it might make sense to make a characteristic for text areas more explicit. Short text states the text fields are one-liners, while long text just says it uses text areas for input instead. It might be reasonable to clearly communicate that text areas are multi-line.
Well, I guess it's not plain text, but on the formatted option. Yeah.
And actually, I wonder whether those two should be more consistent. Let me duplicate my tab. I'm going to switch back and forth between the two tabs for a bit. So I hope that's not too confusing for those of you watching on Zoom. So long text, no fixed maximum length, no length limit. Ooh, that
Hmm.
should really be more consistent, shouldn't
Yeah.
it? Uses a text area for input. No mention of that here.
I think,
Recommended for styled longer texts like body without summary. Recommended for longer texts like body. Go ahead.
yeah, I was thinking that one of the uh, things where it matters to if it's input or text area is that in text area you can input new line. So I think new line usually in text field just submits or kind of a uh, it doesn't add a new line to the data or the value. So new lines is something that is affected by it having text area. So I don't know if that should be mentioned, but it's something that kind of user might or might not know.
Right. And on the other hand, that's just a default. I mean, you could have a text area for short text. You could have a text field for long text. Um, so I think here actually it makes more sense to compare them in the spreadsheet. Um, and I guess before I go any further, do you agree that we should try for more consistency here?
Yep.
So I guess column C is our the one we're using for
Um,
building.
Nick, oh, 1 second. Is that? Yeah, column C it is.
Yeah, UX meeting. So, so we have text for plain text up here and for formatted text down here. So efficient storage, fixed maximum length, maybe faster for searching and sorting. And we don't say that for plain text. Uses a one-line text field for input. And the recommended for it makes sense to be different because one is formatted and one is unformatted. There is a difference there. But should we add these two items um, to the plain text, short plain text?
Oh, the input, the text field was only used on the formatted text?
That's what we have here in the spreadsheet. Do you want me to check?
I'm currently, yeah.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, I was just confused what led me to my comment with the for long text option for formatted text. It might make sense and so forth. So I was only referring to the formatted text and not refer to the plain text. But yeah, I agree. It should be added that it is a text field for plain text as well. Then make
Okay,
it explicit that it is a one-liner. A text array is a multi-line.
and how about the faster for searching and sorting?
Yeah.
I think just for consistency, we should
Yeah.
add that. So let me move these two down one row. And then copy that and paste it up here. And again, the recommended lines, it makes sense for those two to be different. Okay, so let's scroll down to compare long text. No fixed maximum length, no length limit. I think I prefer this one. What do you think?
I agree.
And that indicates you can set a maximum like if you want.
I'm sorry, your audio is pretty choppy, Simo.
Yeah, I was saying that you can add a maximum length if you want. So that's a good.
Right? But there's no fixed maximum. And then
Oh, just one thought. Instead of no fixed, would it make sense to use optional maximum length?
Depending on your database, it's not always optional.
Oh, okay. Okay.
um, and I guess for the short text, we talk about searching and sorting right after the fixed maximum length. So I suggest moving this one down a line and putting in something or 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 maybe not. Like maybe we consciously decided that, especially since there are three by default, um, only, what am I looking at? Um, part about more storage and slower for searching. Here, there were only two. So we contrasted efficient storage with more storage. And here where there are two different long text versions, long and long with summary. Um, Maybe we decided that we only needed the differentiator on one of them. Do we want to stick with that decision and not mention storage on the two variants of long text? Well, if no one feels strongly, then let's leave it alone as we had it before. So no fixed maximum length. We're not going to talk about efficiency. Uses a one-line text field, uses a text area. And that's the thing that was missing from the plain version. So that would go here. Uses a text area. So short text uses one line, long text uses a text area. And leave the recommended things as is. No fixed maximum length. We're not going to talk about storage. Uses a text area recommended for. And then long text with summary. It extends long text so we don't have to repeat everything.
Yep.
Okay.
Um, just one about the text area. I still think it would make sense to add something in regards of multi-line there for people that don't know the difference between a text input field and a text area.
So maybe look at that in context here. Um, so what would you like to say?
If you take a look at short text at the bottom, you have uses a one-line text field for input,
Right.
while for long text and long text with summary, you have just uses a text area for input. And if I'm a non-technical user, I not necessarily know what a text area implies for input.
So you'd
What's
like
the
to
difference?
add multi-line?
Yeah, might be the easiest.
Form display uses uh, for the widget text area and then in parentheses multiple rows.
I'm sorry, and you want to add in parentheses what? Multiple rows?
Yeah, multiple rows. That's what is on the manage form display widget selection.
So let's see. Duplicate the tab again,
Yeah,
manage
text
form
area,
display.
multiple rows. Yeah, on
Um,
body. On
right
body.
here.
Yeah.
So just be consistent with that.
Yeah.
Uses a text area. Multiple rows for input. And then I think also we want the same thing here.
And long text with summary. Does it need it? Yeah.
I think we should add it here too.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that deals with this point.
Yeah.
I've removed the periods at the end of each bullet point. Would it be possible to add bullet point to the other reference field? It looks odd without any. Have we done that yet?
No, not yet. Reference.
Yep.
And at the bottom with other just looks odd.
Yes. So that should be an easy fix to make. And yeah, I agree with Ralph. Simo, do you also agree that for consistency, there should be a single bullet point instead of plain text?
Yes, and also for readability,
Yeah.
Okay.
because
On date and time fields, it is not entirely clear what the examples refer to. Are those the format date and time has to be entered, or is it the example in what way dates and times are stored in the database? So we go to a lot of effort on the selection list to distinguish between what's in the database and what's displayed.
Oh,
And
1 second. Just I've noted on example name, value is in lowercase. Should be in uppercase, isn't it? For example name, the second one.
down here,
Yeah. Value is in up and small and
oh yes,
lowercase, but it should be uppercase, isn't it?
yes, that
Okay.
should be uppercase. Okay, so again, we go to a lot of trouble here to distinguish between what's displayed and what's in the database, and you felt that that we should have something similar for date time fields, which do is that not enabled by default?
Next to
Oh, here it
Boolean.
is. Yep. Um, and these examples are what is stored in the database, and you want to make it clear.
Yeah.
So is this something that would be better to put in uh, a summary at the top since it applies to all of them? Something along the lines of whatever format gets stored, there are several options for display. Or is that something that we should add in the differentiators?
Isn't really a differentiator because both examples show what is stored in the database, isn't it?
Yes, both examples.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we can do it, um, let's add an overview section for date time. Oh, in fact, we already did it, but oh, we didn't make it bold. How inconsistent. Um, so let me just start typing some things so that we don't have a tabula rasa, different field types. Store dates in the database using different formats. All of them can be displayed in a variety of formats. All right, that's a starting point. Get rid of the extra space.
All of them
Thank you.
can be displayed. Variety. Or would it make sense? All of them can, or the display can be adjusted on the Manage Display page to add some referral where a user is able to adjust the output.
Just add something here using the, whoops, Manage Display tab.
And would it make sense to point out that the examples given on those are basically the storage formats?
I'm not sure that's necessary, because we're saying at the top that what differs between the various options is how it's stored in the database,
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
and then the differentiators have different examples.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I guess one disadvantage of having it in the modals is that we're no longer really on the page. And I guess at the moment I can see the different tabs. And manage display should be sentence case, not title case. But it's all grayed out. That's a little less obvious than if we were still on the same page. But so let's make this sentence case. Should we put those in the opposite order? Should we first say the display is the same? You have the same display options for all of them, and then say that they differ in what's stored in the database? Or do I have the correct order here?
I have no strong opinion in that regard, but from a user flow, you first store something and then you display it. So it is okay, I guess.
And how about the different here and then different there? Is that too repetitive?
Maybe for the second different, use various instead. But
Not being a native English speaker, I wonder if alternative is an option.
Alternative formats? I don't think so.
Or how about instead of different field types, the available field types store dates in the database using different formats?
a, uh, what is it? Shift enter, control enter. How do you control enter? Um, so the different, no, uh, let's just say the field types differ in how they store it's not really just dates in the database, it's the date time. Information in the database. So I've made that a little bit shorter. I just say differ once instead of different or
Yeah,
twice. Um, is it clearer?
it's different how they store it. Or no, other storage.
I think different is easier than differ, but if we just say that field types use different formats for storing information in the database.
Oops.
But instead of information, I would use date and time to make it more explicit. Since it is about date and time, so.
Now it's almost exactly the same length. Again, is it clearer?
Let's just
Well, it has one different this, so it doesn't use the same word twice.
and it adds also time, and it is not only about dates. So I like the first one better. Maybe
Simo?
we
Go ahead.
go ahead first, Simo.
Simo, you're still muted.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't quite catch the question.
I was just going to ask whether you agreed with the first option over the second.
Yeah, I think the first one is better.
Okay. Ralph, did you want to add something?
Yeah, the thing I
tweak?
wanted to say is that maybe we could slightly adjust the second sentence then to the first one now. A field type uses different formats to store data and time in the database, all of them. With that, all of them, it sounds odd.
Could it be just say they can be displayed?
Yeah. Something like that. Yep.
Or how about this? All field types have the same display options. Manage display tab, something like that.
The thing I like better on the first variant is that you have a variety of formats for the output. And in your new suggestion, it just says all fields have the same output. But oh, on the other hand,
And actually, I didn't really want to have display twice. Let's make this one format.
format is it? I'm not sure, but is it formatting options or format options the more appropriate?
Using the
You're
word
right.
format, using the word format might confuse with the first line, so that it's somehow, well, managed display kind of hints that it's about display, but I liked having the word display there because then it's kind of a distinguishes it well from storage.
Okay.
Or output options?
I don't like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like it, but it's technical, so I
Yeah.
assume others don't.
Same display options. The reason why I've suggested it is also in part because now again it's display, because you have all field types have the same display options. See the manage display tab.
So the first one doesn't quite repeat. It has display and displayed.
No,
And
I
then
was referring
again,
to the last line right now.
right, which does use exactly the same word twice.
Yeah.
And then the first option uses formats, which is also used in the first line, either variant of the first line. So Simo said that using formats by itself was confusing. Um, but in the phrase displayed in a variety of formats, I think there's that avoids the confusion. Um,
And how about we mix both of those sentences and use all field types can be displayed in a variety of formats?
so do you prefer that version?
Yeah, I think uh, the first one is now better. So I would go use first ones from both.
Okay.
Just one thought about the first one, and to remove the bit technical format term, would it make sense all feed types can be displayed in a variety of ways or something like that? Just simply saying in different, it could be displayed in different ways simply. Right.
Yeah, I prefer variety to different.
Should it be then variable ways? For me, it sounds very strange. Variety of ways.
Yeah.
Various ways.
Okay. Shorter.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Is that enough bike shedding?
Yeah, but looks good.
Okay. Oof, was that the last point?
Yeah, it was.
All right. So Ralph, do you want to make these text changes? Do you want
Yeah,
me to?
I can do that.
Great, thank you so much.
You have rebased the merge request already, haven't you?
Yes, I did
Okay, good.
rebase.
Because for that step, I would have doubt I would be capable of. So
Ah, it's quick. Normally, it's quick and easy.
yeah, normally, but in the last few weeks, after the alpha started, many merge requests got in. So
well, this was an easy one. You would have had no trouble.
okay.
But
Good.
anyway, do anything more to say on this issue?
Yeah, the only thing, if you could do, because I'm not sure how it is accomplished, the bullet point on the other,
Okay.
that one, I'm not sure how to accomplish it. But yeah, the text changes I can do, and I'll also open follow-up issues for the title, the microcopy there, and for what was the other, the order of the
Yes.
options. And I postpone them on this issue for now.
Right.
Okay.
So we have almost 10 minutes left. That could be enough for a quick look at the issue you brought up, if you think a quick look is
Yeah,
enough.
I've already commented on the issue. So a few fixes got already in. Do you have the issue there? Yeah, okay, good.
Right. So for the sake of the recording, this is issue 3511972. And I guess I'll scroll to the top for the title. Allow composer and rsync location to be configured via the user interface, via the UI. And this is in the package manager. And I think the screenshot does a pretty good job of explaining the point that the path to composer on the system and the path to rsync on the
Those are
system.
outdated. Those are outdated.
Okay, it's outdated, but that's basically the functionality, letting the user specify these
Yeah.
through a form.
I've posted a link in the chat.
Okay.
And yeah, admin.
There we go. And while we're waiting for this load, the package manager does a lot of the background work for automatic updates and project browser. So it is the component of Drupal that needs to know where to find Composer and rsync. Not sure why it needs rsync.
It's still hanging. Could
It
you
is.
press log in again? Oh, maybe. Oh, 1 second. Oh, oh, odd. I know. Try again, please. Shit. Uh, Still not working?
No, still being slow.
Or maybe I quickly share my screen.
Okay.
That's faster then. Okay. Share screen. Share. Are you seeing my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. We go in here under systems. We have the package manager settings now. Okay.
This is not your day, Ralph.
Either flash and package. It is installed. Oh, crap. PD repos. Now I know what's wrong. Yeah. Git branch. Row composer locations. Git checkout. -cr. Now we're talking. Okay, that's the current state. As you can see here in the screenshot we've seen before, we had in the placeholder text the auto detected in parentheses state in air quotes
Yes.
that I've raised as a concern, and yeah, Fenner Proxima changed it for now to basically the status message. And as you can see, the path to Composer was automatically detected. The path to rsync was automatically detected. It is now shown here. And point now to demonstrate something. If we go over to status report, and on here is everything okay, but now just to illustrate, I'll rename rsync in my web container, and then I move over to user local bin and move composer to composer. And if I reload now, you can see here, now we get an error saying composer was not found. The error message was the composer XE cannot be found. Make sure it's installed in the path. The path to composer can be configured in. And that is also something I've suggested to add a direct pointer where someone is able to fix the problem. And we click here. As you can see here now, we have warning messages and the placeholders are gone. As you can see, as you have already noticed, at this point for rsync, the analogous behavior is missing on the status reports page. There's no check for rsync at this point. But my recommendation would be simply, to mimic the behavior that is available for Composer as well.
So if you put in the path to Composer, do you then get a message here about rsync? Like I'm wondering, does it never give you a warning message for
It
rsync,
gives
or does
it
it
gives
just stop at the first problem it encounters?
no, it is non-existent. If I would have only changed rsync, you wouldn't see any error there on the status reports page. No error at all.
Can you do that? Either fill in the new path to Composer here, or move it back in your.
Composer was in Composer
Right.
save. Oh God. Let's put it to correct rsyncer. And if we go back.
Well, that's it. Whoa. Don't move off this page yet. Now it's telling us that it was automatically detected. That seems like a problem.
Oh. Good point. I'll make a screenshot.
Another thing, I think we merged, or like the warnings about field overrides went into the core. Is this something that, like, would if this would be overridden in the settings PHP or somewhere else, would this display warning of the overrides, and will this pattern of messages be compatible with those override?
That's a good question.
What is the syntax? Does any one of you?
We only have a minute left. We
Ah,
don't have time to experiment. In
okay.
fact,
But for the moment, I just go back to the status reports page to
yep,
demonstrate. As you can see here, now everything is green. And if and I rem cd user bin and rsyncer. Oops. I rename it back. I reload, still nothing. And as you can see here, if you scroll down MNP, you don't have an entry for rsync. And if we cd user local, Composer should be there. If you go up here, for Composer, you have the entry with the Composer version and the location that is used.
right.
So I just thought it would be a good thing to discuss the entire experience, because it's the first time that kind of opportunity to alter a binary location is getting into core, and therefore I thought it would make sense to discuss that.
Okay. But we are out of time for today's meeting, and we can always come back to this next week.
Yeah. I'll leave a comment with the issue we've seen here in our test with a screenshot, and we can revisit next week, maybe.
Okay.
Find time. Okay. Good. I'll update the refine field microcopy issue, the merge request, and create follow-ups and comment there.
Great. Thank you so much.
Okay, okay. Oops, and I'll stop sharing on top of that.
Okay.
Okay, okay. Then have a nice weekend, everyone.
Yeah, have a nice
Yes,
weekend.
thank you.
Thanks.
Take care.
Bye.